What's up, everybody? We're back with another episode of Bullish Chips, where we use a proven and repeatable strategy to make money every day. This channel happens to focus on the Bullish Semiconductor ETF, which goes by the ticker symbol SOXL, but the charting method and the trading method that we use can be implemented with any company that's publicly traded in the US stock market. So make sure you hit that like button if you enjoy this video. It really helps the channel grow. Thanks to all those who continue to tune in. Nice to see you. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe and notification buttons. That way you are alerted when we release new videos. We do release bonus content from time to time. But the nightly and weekend videos like tonight's video, we focus mostly on identifying triggers and targets for trades ranging from, scalps and intraday trades all the way up to swing or leap trades as well. So if you want a deeper dive into exactly how we set up our charts, broadening formations, color coding for different time frames, levels of support and resistance, check out that bonus content on our YouTube page. We've got some videos that dive into that. So I do encourage you to watch the full video. We do go over triggers and targets for tomorrow or the next day, but we also give some pretty good insight into price action on all time frames. So with that, let's take a look at the agenda for today. First, we'll recap the price action from Wednesday, January 14th. Then we'll zoom out like we always do, look at the week, month, quarter, and year. Then we'll zoom back in to set our 4-hour markers and the triggers and targets for Thursday, January 15th. Then we'll do a quick review of the triggers and targets for the week, month, quarter, and year as well. So if we go to the charts, looking at the 5-minute like we always start out with, this is how we can take advantage of our proven and repeatable strategy that we talked about. If you're not familiar with the channel, it's pretty simple. We first, overnight, we chart the previous day's high, previous day's low, low, and overnight high. Once price opens, we mark that opening print or that first traded price of the day, and those give us our playing field essentially. Once you have the opening print or the first traded price, you want to look for higher lows at or above that opening print to get into calls, or you want to look to get puts if we get lower highs underneath the opening print. So you can see here, we had some pretty volatile action in the first 30 minutes of trading. We did have the tariff decision that was released at 9 o'clock. So we were really sitting on our hands until then. That's 9 o'clock Central. And that's when we got this, big green candle and the retest of essentially opening print and last week's high. This solid purple line is last week's high. And of course, this peach dashed line is the opening print. We did get a higher high, but it was followed by a lower low. So a broadening formation on the 5-minute essentially was started. If we just do this, right, there's your broadening formation. Oops. Right. So we did go ahead and take the two down here, because if you looked at the 15-minute, there was actually a lower high that was triggered on the 15-minute. Let's remove that. Let's get the 15-minute up here. Right, if we look at the 15-minute, right, this is around that 9:15 area, and this candle then locked in the lower high. So we went ahead and entered here, lower high. It was a 15-minute entry underneath the opening print, and you can see we got the lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Now this 53.17 level, we did execute half of our position there for a few reasons, right? It's a put in the face of an uptrend. If we look at this level at 53.17, that's the 123.6 fib of the holiday bull flag, and it has been a level of support in the past, right? So you can see it was support here, went straight through it here, so it didn't act as resistance here. Well, there was a little bit of resistance here and here, but ultimately, again, support, shot through it, and looked for support here. So we did unload half of our position at that point, and let's zoom back in here. And once we got the higher low, higher high, we went ahead and exited once we broke above this higher low candle right here. So decent profit. Obviously got more on that first push down to the 53.17. We maybe could have hung in there just because on the 1 hour, right, we hadn't set any type of lower high at that point, right? So this is today's action. And when we exited, I believe it was this 2-up candle on the 1 hour. So, we could have still looked for this retest of 53.17 to confirm as support intraday, but we didn't want to really play around again. We were looking at we were playing a put in the face of an uptrend, so we didn't want to play around too much, didn't want to overstay our welcome, just wanted to take our profit and go. And you can see after that second touch of that 53.17, basically, I don't know if you want to call it a squeeze, or the bears just got exhausted at that point. But we did get the push back up, not only through overnight low and previous week's high, but through the opening print to flip the day back green and actually close the gap that was set not only this morning, but yesterday morning, right? So this morning it gapped over the gap, creating a double gap. So that gap was actually closed. So yeah, that's what we had on the day. We didn't make any calls or buy any calls with that second tap off of the 53.17. We've already got some February contracts as well as some contracts for next week as well. So wanted to wait for the 1 2 down 2 up to trigger on the 4 hour, and that didn't happen until the end of the day. So let's actually take a look at the 4 hour, and we can see here. Oops, let's make it bigger for everyone. Right, this was Tuesday's action where we had the 2-1, and we talked about in last night's video to watch for the 1 2 down 2 up. Even if that first 4 hour candle of Wednesday was a 2 down, there was still an opportunity for that 1 2 down 2 up to confirm as a higher low, and that's exactly what we got. So was tempted to add at the end of the day right before close, but we'll go ahead and see how this all plays out. This 1 2 down 2 up did trigger. The magnitude is the high of the candle to the left of the 1. So up here at this 57.63 would be the magnitude for that move. But we do just have to keep in mind we're kind of in I don't want to say a blow off top situation, right? But we just popped out of this range. So I guess we do have a few tests intraday, right? But do we have a retest of that level on the daily on the day chart, right? So we could have the continued 1 2 down 2 up tomorrow, but if we go 2 down in the first 4 hour of Thursday's trading, then this is just a lower high. Let's go to the day chart. If we look at the day chart, and we can see, right, we have not retested this $50 level, 50.09 intraday, which is the top of this this range right here. That was the high of 2025. So like we said, intraday it was tested. This poked through it, so I wouldn't really call that it was a test, but it wasn't a intraday. It wasn't a positive result, right? We had to wait for the next day to pop out of it. So do we test this level one more time and just wake off of it instead of pushing through it like we did here? That's definitely a possibility, and we're not going to predict that, but we'll be ready for it if it does happen. So from the 4 hour and from the day perspective, still looking positive, but we do have to be aware of what is out there that could still happen tomorrow. So again, apologies. Sometimes I forget on how small the chart is, and some people are on phones. So just looking at the day chart here, just what we were talking about, let's squeeze in, right? That 50.76, 50.09 level is the top of this range that we've been in for months. So again, we have that little poke down through it and bounce. Do we get another push down to bounce off the top of that level instead of poking through? Possibly. Let me just pull up the 4 hour real quick and just make sure it's big enough for everyone to see as well, right? We did initially trigger this morning with the 2 down, this 3 combo 2 up 2 down, obviously did not reach magnitude, showing strength for the bulls, and we ended up with this 1 2 down 2 up that triggered right at the end of the day. So continuation of that pattern should take us up here. Let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit more and take a look at the week. We're still looking good, right? A higher low in terms of candle to candle structure, and a higher high as well. So, oops, what's going on with the chart there? There we go. And a higher high as well. So really just continuing this uptrend, but just be aware, we did poke out of this range. Do we retest it from the week perspective? Because we have not done that yet. We've done it intraday, but again, not from the day perspective and the week perspective. If we zoom out to the month, again, we're still looking good, looking at November as the higher low. On the month scale, we've made this higher high, so we have started the uptrend on the month. On the quarter, we've talked about this plenty of times. We have triggered this combo 2 down, combo 2 up, and the magnitude for that move is 70.08, right? So again, higher low in terms of candle to candle structure, and higher high. So we are coming from a lower low in terms of a trend sequence. So we are, trying to change that. And if we do get some type of pullback either this quarter or next quarter, we could negate the one combo 2 down, combo 2 up. But if we push down and make a hammer type of candle maybe in the second quarter, that would be look a little bit more bullish, at least in the possibility that could be a higher low. And then of course if we go higher high, that just starts an uptrend on the quarter. But again, on the quarter, we triggered this one combo 2 down, combo 2 up. 70.08 up here is the magnitude for that move. So as long as we're above this 36.15 level, we're still in force with that move. On the year, oops, not the 1 minute. Where's the year? There we go. If we look at the year, again, we've triggered this 2 down, 2 up. Magnitude of that, again, that 70.08, same magnitude for the quarters move. So just looking for that. We want to stay above this 50.76 level for this 2 down, 2 up to remain in force. Again, just like with the quarter, just got to make sure that this doesn't start to roll over and maybe get some type of inverted hammer, because if we push down through 2026 like we did 2024 or even 2022, then we're looking at a possible lower high situation and starting a downtrend on the year. Again, not calling for that to happen. Long ways to go for that to happen, but we just have to make sure we look at both sides of the equation, right? So that's pretty much it. We looked at everything from a zoomed in perspective for the day, looked at everything else from a zoomed out perspective. Let's go ahead and bring up the scalp chart for tomorrow and set up how we would play things at least early on in the day, either to get a scalp or to get an early entry into a trending day type of move. So with that, we've got the 5-minute chart up again. On the chart, you can see our 4-hour markers, those being the overnight high, previous high a day, overnight low, and previous low a day, right? The only 4-hour marker that's missing is the opening print. And again, we can't get that until price actually opens up for the day. So we'll just use these for now, and we will use an imaginary opening print. Let me get the right tool. So let's say we open up, right at this 54.46 level, the 138.2 fib extension of the holiday bull flag. If you're not familiar with that, let me just pop out real quick. Oops, wasn't the 4-hour? There we go. That makes it better. And if we just activate this, you can see that on December 17th, we had this low. We pushed up and then we went sideways, giving us a bull flag. And these extensions are just extensions of the bull flag, right? So let's get back into the talk about tomorrow. So let's say we open right at that level, just up under this 15-minute broadening formation that we happen to poke through at the end of the day. And let's say we get price action to the downside. We want to just, continue to watch it. If we push down and we get some type of bounce off of like overnight low or some whatever level in here on a short time frame, and then we push back up, but then ultimately end up making a lower high at or below this opening print level, then we want to look to get into puts just like we did today, and we want to target overnight low and previous low a day, right? If we do open here and we push up, maybe we reject off of last week's high and we pull back, but ultimately we get the higher low at or above the opening print, then we want to look to get into calls. And in this case, previous high a day would be the first target and overnight high would be the second target, right? That is the proven and repeatable strategy that we use. Now, if we make it to these extremes, overnight high or previous low a day, and we're still moving with momentum, then obviously, you can let those things run, maybe take a little bit of profit on some, but at that point, we'd have to turn to our triggers and targets on the 4 hour and up, which we'll get to here in a second. But just to really hammer home again, for those who are new to the channel, we want to look for higher lows at or above opening print to get into calls, and we want to look for lower highs at or below opening print to get into puts. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at things from a more of a day trade perspective. Let's go ahead and bring up let's go to the 1 hour, because I do want to look at how we made a lower low on the 1 hour. Are we on the right chart? Yeah, there we go. So if we get the right tool out here, there we go. If we take this low to that low, that's a broadening formation. Let's update. Oh no, that one's right. All right, so here we have a 1 hour broadening formation that was formed, right? That's formed by making a higher high and then followed by a lower low, right? So we've got this broadening formation, and so we need to play the 1 hour will be the key for a full day trade swing type of trade on Thursday, because this could ultimately end up being a lower high, just like on the 4 hour. The 2 up that we got in the second 4 hour of Wednesday's price action could end up being a lower high. So we really need to watch this. We've got this 150 fib extension of that holiday bull flag, as well as a daily broadening formation coming up through here. This orange diagonal line is a daily broadening formation. So we do have to look for resistance here. And until we get that higher high, we really can't say too much, especially if it comes after this lower low, right? If we just push all the way up and make a higher high, now we still just got a broadening formation. Now, if we push up and this does end up being a lower high, how far do we pull back, right? Because if we pull back just to this 138.2 and we bounce, right, now we're looking at a higher low here. And if we go higher high, now we're looking at the trend actually changing to up instead of just being a broadening formation. So the 1 hour is going to be key for us, right? On the 4 hour, there we go. Like we've talked about already multiple times, we did trigger this 1 2 down 2 up. Again, that reversal pattern does not have a magnitude of the high of the one, but actually the high of the candle to the left of the one. So we've still got a lot of magnitude left in that move. It frankly is just only triggered at the end of the day. So if we do get that continued upside action in that first 4 hour of Thursday, then we do want to ultimately look for this 57.63 to be our magnitude. Right, we do have this 161.8 fib right here at 56.92. That is from the April 7th low bull flag, right? So that's from a more high time frame perspective. So do watch for a little bit of corrective activity here, but if we do get there with momentum, obviously we were through the daily broadening formation at that point, and we can look to hit the magnitude of that move. At the same time, just like we were talking about with the 1 hour, got to watch overnight. SOXL is already down 1%. So we really need to watch that. If we open up and we trigger the 2 down, that locks in the second 4 hour candle of Wednesday as a lower high. And now we're starting a downtrend on the 4 hour, right? Especially if we make a lower low, which shouldn't be too hard to do. It would happen almost exactly after you trigger the 2 down to lock in that lower high. So at that point, now we're looking at retesting last week's 50% level, this purple dash line that we've got here going horizontally. If we crashed through that, we've got last quarter's high, last month's high sitting here as well. So we've got some levels of support even if we do get that pullback. The only real negative thing I would say about that is that we've got the lower high on the 4 hour if that happens. But again, it's not necessarily the end of the world, because if we look at the day chart, right, we haven't gone 2 up yet to lock this in as a higher low. We could push down again tomorrow, even the next day. We could get down to that 48, 48.13 level down here before we make a lower low. And we're coming from a higher high, so even if we do go lower low, it's just a broadening formation. So again, high time frame, everything is holding steady. We're looking bullish, neutral at worst. And then even on the low time frames, even with pullbacks, we're still set up in a good situation to make higher lows and continue these uptrends, right? So on the day, if we do go down, that would finish this 2 up, combo 2 down, reaching Monday's low. If we do go below that does trigger this combo 2 up, combo 2 down, and then we're looking for Friday's low, which is right here in that 50.76 to 50.09 level that I was talking about retesting. So, again, bullish leaning, but a little bit neutral, feeling a little bit more neutral with the overnight price action and just knowing what we're looking at from the 4 hour, because if we do open up 2 down on that 4 hour, right, we're locking in that lower high, and we're definitely looking at a push lower. Again, not the end of the world, but it's just longer that you would have to wait to enter calls. Got to buy more puts, sell calls, just take advantage of the downside action. But it can get kind of tricky because while in uptrends, you don't want to overstay your welcome in counter trend moves. So, stick and move on those, get your profit, and live to see another day. Let's go ahead and look at the hard numbers here in our notes. This again is for Thursday, January 15th. There will be 242 trading days left in 2026 on Thursday, January 15th. The close price of Wednesday's price action was 55.38. We know that the week goes red at 52.39 and the month, quarter, and year go red at 45.13. So we do know that right now we're in full time frame continuity to the upside, meaning the week, month, quarter, and year are all green. We know that the market maker's expected move for the week was plus or minus $5.62 from Friday's close, giving us an expected range of 59.57 to 48.33. And as you can see, we're sitting right in there. We did close the gap from yesterday, so that's no longer on the gaps below list, but we do have note of where all the gaps on the chart are from the day time frame and up. Always want to keep those handy. Kind of stuck in between two right now, so got to see which one is going to be the stronger magnet, right? We talked about from a scalping perspective or an early entry for a full day trade, we want to look for higher lows at or above opening print to get into calls, and we want to look for lower highs at or below opening print to get into puts. Now from the 4 hour time frame, again, we talked about if we go 2 down, that gives us not only a 2 up, 2 down reversal, but locks in a lower high on the 4 hour. Not a lot of magnitude on the move, seeing how it triggers at 53.17 and the magnitude is 53 flat. So we did give some extended targets out here as well. If we go to the upside, then we're continuing this 1-2 down combo 2 up, triggering at 55.44. Magnitude's all the way up here at 57.63. So knowing that we could have a little bit more chop tomorrow, we do have 56.56 as an initial target. Might be a spot where you want to, take a little bit of profit or just reassess the situation if we get some sideways action. Again, that magnitude to the upside is 57.63. If we blow through that, we do have 58.04 as the next target, extended target. On the day chart, if we go to the downside, that is a 2 up combo 2 down, triggering at 53 flat with a magnitude of 52.35. If we do reach that 52.35 level, it does start another kind of domino situation where we've got these combo 2 up, combo 2 downs. So we've got the extended targets of 51.45 and 50.39 out there for you. If we go to the upside on the day chart, it gives us the 2 down, 2 up, locking in today or Wednesday, depending on when you're watching this, as a higher low on the day chart that triggers at 55.44, and the magnitude is again 57.63. So we've got 56.92 as our intermediate target for you there. Really anything in between 56.56 and 56.92. But again, if we reach that 57.63, we've got the extended target of 58.04. No more charts here. We'll just run through the rest of the numbers, the week, month, quarter, and year. The week, again, we've triggered this 2 up at 54.76. We do want to remain above that level. The targets are 56.92, 59.57. Could maybe see the 59.57 if we get ripping this week, but really just trying to get that 56.92 knocked out first. Going red 3 or bearish engulfer on the week would take getting down to 48.13. We might get there Friday if we do get a strong push to the downside, but I don't expect that to happen tomorrow, so won't really go over those. On the month, again, we've triggered that 212 up continuation at 50.09. We've reached its magnitude already at 50.19, so just really trying to stay above that and keep that intact and the continued push on the month, because there are not really any more monthly reversal patterns that are going to be out there. On the quarter, though, we are still stuck dead in the middle of this. We're actually not even dead in the middle anymore. We're getting towards the upper half. It's actually almost completed. We're in this one combo 2 down, combo 2 up that triggered at 50.76 this quarter. 36.15 is really the origin trigger for the larger move. But 50.76 is the one that we want to maintain this quarter for sure. It's not not a line in the sand type of area where you got to sell everything if we go below there, but it just makes it a lot more comfortable if we're above that 50.76 level. The targets are 62.23, 65.04, and 67.56 on the way to the ultimate magnitude of 70.08, which plays right in with the year, which we talked about. We've gone 2 down, 2 up, triggered at 50.76, and the magnitude for that move is 70.08 as well. All right. So there you have it, your triggers and targets for everything ranging from a scalping trade all the way up to the leaps on the 1-year chart. Hope everybody enjoyed it. We tried to jam in as much information in as little time as possible. Don't want to waste your time. So just get right to the point. But if you do have any questions or any comments, definitely let us know in the comment section of this video. We respond to all comments, and we welcome all comments. Even if they're quote unquote negative, especially if they're done in a constructive manner, there's no problem with hearing someone else's point of view and possibly trying to work things to help them in whatever area they need as well. So we have made certain changes to the video over time due to people's requests, and we would we're perfectly fine with continuing that if it will make the videos better. So the video's free. If you can give us a free thumbs up, we'd really appreciate that. I think it's a fair exchange, but we always leave the lines of communication open in the comment section, and we're always glad to respond. So if you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up, give it a share if you think it'll help somebody. Again, it's just a free channel. We're just trying to give out as much information as possible to help traders become more consistent. So that's what we're doing here, and we hope that we're accomplishing that. But we'll go ahead and end the video at this point. We'll end it like we always do. If you're watching this Wednesday night, we hope you get some good rest tonight, wake up refreshed tomorrow. If you're watching this Thursday morning or Thursday during the day, we hope you got some good rest last night and woke up refreshed this morning, and we look forward to getting out there and trading with you.